Jim Jones continues his losing streak, and at this point we have to ask ourselves, is he already the biggest loser in hip-hop in 2026? I mean, it's been a rough year for Jim. At this point, they saying he's not paying the power. The landlord, who also owns 50% of his media team, is saying that he's hiding the books and he's not paying his rent.
And whenever you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Super Bowl 60? Are you ready for the excitement, the adrenaline, Branson Cognac? What the What happened with the lights, man?
And whenever you're ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for Super Bowl 60? Are you ready for the excitement, the adrenaline, Branson Cognac? What the What happened with the lights, man?
I want to rent it. And I said, okay, fine. Right? He's been saying this for since October. And so he keeps trying to build it, but he won't sign the lease. He's like, I don't like these terms. I want 6 months of build out and ridiculous bullshit. We also have a partnership agreement where half of what he's building now, his media, belongs to us. But he won't tell us how much he's making and doing all these things. So half of the content he's creating, if you want to buy that too, I'll sell you half the company. He's not a business. He's insane. To me, it's worth very little to nothing. But if it works out for you, I just throw that in as a sweetener. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is he signed a lease with me. Right now he owes, I'm going to say it in a short way, at least $80,000, if not $180,000. The monthly rent on the old lease, not this.
And then you got Dame Dash in the footage resurfacing of him a few years ago where he tried to run up on Dame Dash with a whole bunch of goons, but the goons wanted him to take the fade. We ain't here to crash out for you. We here to just oversee and make sure nothing goes wrong. And that looked very crazy on Jim Jones' part.
Fight for you. Yeah, they do. You know, for you never did nothing, nigga. You ain't no gang.
They do. That's right.
You're entertainer.
They the gang bangers,
tough
nigga.
No,
You soft, gang. You soft, nigga. You soft, nigga.
Can you get the
You
film?
soft, nigga.
You get
This
the
ain't
film.
1989.
You get the film. You ain't never fuck me up. You ain't never
Don't
been
fuck
from
him up,
nobody.
No.
Cigarette. Go ahead. Fuck me up.
Give me the glass.
Fuck me up.
Move, Chrissy. Chrissy, move, Chrissy.
Hell no. Come on, y'all. Baby, please, you can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't let this happen. You can't. No.
Go inside and do something.
Never sit me down enough.
Come on, guys, please. Let's just chalk this up as a fucked up day.
Ain't no fucked up down. Yeah, he came down his house to try to disrespect me. And now he got to eat that when he's not mad.
It's funny because Jim Jones, the old Jim Jones we know, would have called podcasters lame. He's too gangster for that. He's too much of a, A-list celebrity in his head. And now he is the master podcaster. Not only does he have his own podcasting brand that is very successful, I will say that, but he's going and doing his own rounds on other small podcasts. And on this one particular podcast, they asked him about Kid Cudi's Day and Night song, and just like our people do, even if you put a little sprinkle over the song, they want the credit for the whole thing. So Jim Jones gets on the podcast and says that when he remixed Day and Night, that's when everybody found out who Kid Cudi was. He's saying that he's taking the credit for Day and Night's success. And man, did this cause an uproar.
Nigga remix this right here. Night and, what it was, Day and Night? Day and Night.
That was one of the biggest.
Nigga, you remixed that shit. I didn't know that shit.
That's how y'all know Kid Cudi. You wouldn't have never known Kid Cudi if I didn't remix the record in New York City. I made that the biggest record in New York City. It wasn't Kid Cudi. Nobody knew who Kid Cudi was. Kid Cudi became about because He had video directors that I wanted them to do a video, and I asked them to show me a video they did before. And they showed me this kid on top of a roof with a record called Day and Night.
Right.
He worked in the store under the label. There's nobody. I was like, oh, yo, did this? I said, I like the record. Get the beat of the record, I want to do a remix. If you give me the beat of the record, I'll let y'all shoot my video. These kids was trying to shoot a video for free for me. Oh. Like, I got the beat. I told them they went crazy, he wanted to do it. I got the beat. I shot the video to the beat, and I never even put the shit out. They put it up on YouTube, they ripped it off of YouTube, and it became the biggest record in New York City. And that's how Kid Cudi became an artist. They ended up giving him a big deal off of Jim Jones' back. If I'm lying, I'm fine.
Now, Kid Cudi would see this and be like, yo, I'm so tired of this dude telling this bullshit story over and over again. Let me finally address this.
Oh, man, so starting my day, and, you know, I see something online that I have to address, right? So Jim Jones, first off, we love Jim Jones, right? Like, I grew up on Jimmy, like, he's the homie. I met him when I was coming up. He was cool, right? Jimmy, I'm gonna address you directly, my nigga. You talking about how you are responsible for my success is a lie. You need to stop lying to people. You get on your little podcast and you start gossiping and talking shit, and everybody on your podcast don't know the truth. So they're all agreeing with you. But if you look under the comments under that post, you'll see people are letting you know what time it is. You know, this is part one. I got more to say. Day and Night was already a hit record before you touched it, my nigga. I put it on my MySpace, it blew up. Okay? I had an entire mixtape. I was on my way. Motown was courting me. Kanye wanted to sign me. All because of Day and Night, because I put it on my MySpace and it blew up, my nigga. It blew up. I can promise you that Sylvia Rhone did not listen to your remix and say she wanted to sign me. That is not why I have a record deal, bro. Nothing you're talking about is the truth. How do you think I had a music video? I was shooting the music video. I was already on. You saw a hit record and jumped on it, my nigga. Like, you didn't make me, man. You didn't make me. So, like, you got to stop telling these tales, my nigga. Like, you got to stop. I want to shout out everybody that's been in the comments letting this nigga know what the truth is. You know, but it's crazy how people just be trying to, like, take credit for my success. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild, you know? Like, and I like Jimmy, man. It kind of breaks my heart to hear him on here trying to take credit for something that he's not a part of. You know what I mean? You jumped on my shit. I didn't ask you to do that. You know, and granted, they played it on Hot 97 every day, and it was a thing on Hot 97 on the radio. But I was an international artist from jump. Like, I had the world, my nigga. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand. But I'm gonna address this now. You know what I'm saying? Like, no more tales, my nigga. You ain't had nothing to do with this. So yeah, man. Just wanted to address that. You know, I just know that, like, niggas is trying to erase history. You know what I mean? Niggas is trying to rewrite history, you know? And I'm alive and well, and I'm around to address it. This Jimmy talking about how he's responsible for my success, this comes up every couple years. He's always talking about it, and I've been ignoring it, and now finally I'm gonna say something. You know, because you're not about to be out here trying to, like, take credit for something that you had nothing to do with, you know? So, yeah. Just wanted to address that, y'all. Peace and love.
Now, Vlad TV will be one of the only people who would say that they agree with Jim Jones. Of course, it's Vlad TV. And he's saying people are roasting Jim Jones for saying he's the reason Kid Cudi blew up, but he's absolutely right. Nobody knew who Kid Cudi was until Jim Jones did the Day and Night remix. Keep in mind, this was coming off of the heels of Ballin', the biggest song ever, Jim Jones collection. I remember hanging out in the studio with Cudi and playing Pat when Cudi told us that Jim Jones tried to press him to sign the song to him, which ultimately didn't happen. Now, some people would start responding to Vlad. This girl right here at Nana Bad would say, I was today years old when I found out there's a Day and Night remix with Jim Jones. Ronose22 would say, niggas who discover Cudi through Jim Jones are niggas I never want to talk music with ever. Patrick CCTV would say, yo, put on that Day and Night. Nah, the Jim Jones remix. Said no one ever. Yo. Jim Jones.
Stop the cap.
Jim Jones.
Stop the cap.
Hey, listen, man. Jim Jones, at that time, you were on fire. I'll give you that. You had a good run. You had a good, little year run. You know, if you let Jim Jones and all the other New Yorkers tell it, they'll swear Jim Jones had, a whole era. No, let's stop that. Matter of fact, everybody, I want y'all to comment down below that doesn't live in New York City. And I'm pretty sure 90% of the people are going to agree with me. Everybody but New Yorkers knows that New Yorkers are some of the most delusional people, and they think that there's no other world outside of New York. For instance, I remember arguing with 2 or 3 New York niggas that I knew a few years back, and they were trying to say that New York is the reason that the South took over hip hop. Yeah, they were trying to say that actually we were arguing about the Never Scared remix by Bone Crusher, because I was saying that's one of the songs that, you would say it wouldn't now, but that's one of the songs that really helped solidify T.I.'s career. One of those songs that helped push the South up in the rankings when it comes to the music. Right after 50 Cent, the South took over hip hop, right? So Never Scared was one of those songs, and the New Yorkers were trying to tell me that because there was a remix with Cameron on Never Scared, that was what put that song on the map. And I said, nobody in life has ever said, yo, put on that Never Scared and put on the remix version with Cameron. Nobody's ever said that, bro. And this is one of those cases right here. Jim Jones is living in a delusional state where he, one, is saying that nobody in New York ever heard of Kid Cudi, which is cap. When they say nobody, he's just saying his circle, his demographic. He's running with Gangsta Bloods in New York. Of course, they're not listening to Day and Night. Kid Cudi was an emo rapper at the time, a groundbreaking one too, because we hadn't really heard that type of vibe yet. So him saying that was kind of interesting. When in actuality, the demographic for Kid Cudi is young teenage boys that like me. At that time, I was probably 17, 18. That's the demographic, not Jim Jones. So when he says nobody, he's just talking about his friends. And you see, there's two different perspectives. Jim Jones may have not known at the time or ever that this was already a hit. He might have just liked the song. Somebody showed it to him. He didn't know anything about it. He didn't know that Kanye was already trying to push to sign him. He didn't know that Motown was already courting him. He doesn't know that, the video was already funded by a label. He doesn't know that. All he knows is, I like the song. Maybe in New York, they did press it and push it with the remix on there because at the time, that's what you did. You went and got regional remixes. You went and got regional versions of remixes. For example, I remember here in Atlanta, when I got Jeezy's first album, TM 101, when I seen that go crazy, they only still had the original version, which had Fat Joe and somebody else. But in New York, they had the Jay-Z remix on the album. That's just how they did business back in the days. So yes, Jim Jones, from his perspective, he might have felt like he did something, but to take credit for y'all wouldn't know who Kid Cudi was if it wasn't for me, as to say there wouldn't be any success is wrong. And when you look at the YouTube numbers, Kid Cudi Day and Night, the original version, has 261 million views. The remix that Jim Jones has, 17 years later, still hasn't even broke 1 million views. So how do you have credit for Kid Cudi? Top of that, NBA Live, which was one of the hottest basketball games at the time, already had the Day and Night original version on there. And we know how it is when you make it to the NBA Live, when you make it to these 2Ks, your song is usually doing something. They're not breaking music on there. So that means that it already had a lifeline, and this was before the remix was ever even put out. It was on NBA Live. So I'm gonna just end it like this here, man. Jomo, you lying. But Jomo don't care. He don't care that he lying. Because guess what? For him, I guess any publicity is good publicity. As long as he can keep his name in the algorithm, he's gonna promote his stuff. He's gonna try to make his money. He's gonna try to pay his rent so he can get his power back on. He can get his heat back on. Listen, I get it. But the facts are the facts, man. Let's just start being real with ourselves, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below, man. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, hit that notification bell. And we out, baby. Boom!
Just LaFlare.
It's him.